cash fún borrow me credit kí o gba owó ìpè tí o lè sọ àti sanwó rẹ̀ síwájú. Máa sọ̀rọ̀ ṣó pẹ̀lú borrow me credit. Gbé pẹ̀lú omi kan wá fújì dúrọ́ọ̀mù ni o gbé wá dúrọ́ọ̀mù omi ni kò gbé wá. Unlimited.
Top stories tonight. Chief of Staff to President Buhari dies of COVID-19, laid to rest in Abuja. Open lockdown, state government warns criminally minded people against dastardly acts. Plus, updates from the world of sports. Good evening and welcome to Channel 12 News. My name is Ayla Balogun. Now the news. The body of the late Chief of Staff to the President, Abakari, has been laid to rest at Kudu Cemetery in Abuja, the nation's capital. A statement by the presidency says the event, which took place after funeral prayers, marks the end of all ceremonies in respect of the loss in view of the social distancing protocol now in place. State House correspondent Adamu Samba reports on the lessons to be learned from Abakari's death from coronavirus.
Still the offices, oil and gas, banking, insurance, making so much money for themselves and leaving 180 million people behind. It is not possible to go under this.
Indeed, Malam Abbakari, Chief of Staff to the President, is no more. He died Friday night from COVID-19. The late Chief of Staff was tested positive for the disease shortly after his return from Germany, where he represented Nigeria to meet with officials of Siemens on the expansion program of the nation's power sector. Malam carries passion for a prosperous Nigeria and indeed loyalty to President Muhammadu Buhari, many say, were never in doubt.
Hate him, love him, but you can't question his loyalty to his boss. His loyalty to his boss was unquestionable, was unnegotiable, and he was literally the punching bag. And he bore stoically all the insults, all the accusations, malicious concoctions, and dubious aspersions on his person. He was a great stoic man.
And he had the interests of his country at heart and was able to make whatever sacrifice was necessary for this country. Great loyalty and unimpeachable integrity. And for years and years and years to come, people will realize just what an impact he has made. And in his loss, we will now begin to see exactly how important he was.
We worked together. He was my editor in the newspaper industry, and we worked very closely. He's a very hard-working person, honest, sometimes temperamental, but for a cause. And many people misunderstood Abba, and may God forgive him and give him a Jannatul Dawsi. We lost.
But what lessons are there to learn from the demise of the Chief of Staff to the President, Malam Abbakari, from the novel coronavirus? A question posed by NTA News to the Chairman, Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 and Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa.
One of the key lessons for me is that this is, and it has come home. how closer can it be to us than this? And that's what I keep saying, that we should not play with this issue. It's not a joke. It has come to ravage our people, ravage our health, and ravage our wealth as a nation. So we must take it more seriously. And the messages that are going out there about social distancing, about staying at home, they are not punitive. And I continue to emphasize that they are not punitive. They are meant for our good. So it's a big lesson that our people should not play jokes with this.
In a statement by Malam Garba Shehu, the presidency says no condolence visits will be allowed, but people are instead advised to pray for the repose of the soul of the late Chief of Staff. And for those that can use the window permitted for movement in the FCT, a condolence register will be opened at the SGF's office from Sunday. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, Nta News.
Meanwhile, a former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, has commiserated with President Muhammadu Buhari over the death of his chief of staff, Abukari. The former president, in a statement, said he received the news with great sadness. The elder statesman described Abukari's death as painful not only to President Muhammadu Buhari, his family and friends, but to all Nigerians. He urged President Buhari to take solace in the fact that he died in active service of his country. Chief Obasanjo noted that Abukari's death from complications of COVID-19 has reinforced the reminder that COVID-19 requires all hands to fight it successfully and get Nigerians back to good health and healthy economy. He prayed God to grant President Buhari, the family of the deceased, and friends the fortitude to bear the loss. And similarly, Ogun State Governor Prince Nta Abeokuta has expressed shock over the death of Chief of Staff to President Muhammadu Buhari, Malam Abba, who passed on Friday, April 17, 2020, describing it as a national tragedy. Governor Abeokuta, in a statement he personally signed, described Malam Abba as a good leader and devout Muslim who sacrificed so much in the service of Nigeria. The Chief of Staff was said to have contracted the virus while on an official assignment in Germany, and he was confirmed positive to COVID-19 on March 23rd and died of complications arising from the virus. He added that the late Chief of Staff was a deteriorized Nigerian, consummate technocrat, gentleman and leading member of President Muhammadu Buhari's team, for whom the state government had a lot of respect. Governor Abeokuta recalled that Abukari carried out his duties with a lot of charisma and high intellectual disposition, which earned the office of Chief of Staff a lot of dignity and respect. The governor condoled with the president, family, friends, and associates of the deceased of the painful loss. He prayed for the repose of the soul of Kari. And now to security matters. Ogun State government has warned criminally minded people using lockdown period to perpetrate evil acts, robbing residents of their properties, to either steer clear of the state or meet with Waterloo from the battle-ready security agencies in the state. The governor, Prince Nta Abeokuta, made this submission while addressing journalists on the extension of the lockdown date in the state. Lukman Adefas' report is presented in this package.
There will be relaxation of the lockdown on Monday the 20th, on Wednesday the 22nd, and on Friday the 24th of April. This period of relaxation will be between the hours of 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. on each of these days. This means that citizens are expected to remain indoors tomorrow, Saturday, April 18th, Sunday, April 19th, Tuesday, April 21, and Thursday, April 23rd, 2020 as the periods of lockdown. Let me also re-emphasize that while the window of relaxation has been observed, all interstate and international borders of Nigeria State will remain closed.
While the second phase of the lockdown has commenced in Ogun State, the government declared that window of relaxation of the lockdown will be reviewed from time to time. Governor Abeokuta, who frowned at the increasing rate of insecurity, noted that some hoodlums want to test the will of the state government but security personnel have been mandated on the need to prioritize the protection of lives and properties of residents by ensuring all criminal-minded people are brought to book immediately.
Penetrate and perpetrate any form of crime or criminality. The state has zero tolerance for crimes. And if you test our way, the government and security agencies will be swift in apprehending you and bring you to justice. I call on parents and guardians to ensure the conduct and activities of their children and youth are in consonance with law, public morality, and order.
He emphasized the need for everyone to use their face mask anytime they are going out, while maintaining strict adherence to personal hygiene, including regular hand washing and social distancing.
Channel 12 News continues after this timeout. Please stay. Welcome back. As the second phase of lockdown of Ogun State to prevent spread of coronavirus commences, the level of compliance with the stay-at-home order on the part of residents is commendable. Akinjimo monitored the exercise across the length and breadth of Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, and brought back the situation report in this package presented from our studio.
From Agoba through Lafenwa to Biri, Akerigbade, Pansheke, Okelewo, Shapon, Ijaye, Iyana and Ideba, the situation was the same, except for people on essential services. The roads were devoid of human and vehicular movement. This was as a result of the commencement of the second phase of lockdown, which began in Ogun State as directed by the federal government. A number of roadblocks were mounted at strategic parts of the metropolis by men and officers of the various security agencies to ensure that only people on essential services were allowed to move freely across the states.
We are getting there. We are trying. At least the news now is we are going into another 14 days of lockdown, which I think it will help to reduce the amount of people coming out of the disease, and those that have it already would come out with symptoms within that 14 days. You know, like I said, the symptoms shows up within 2 to 14 days. Only if we can actually take proper precautions on what we are asked to do, like using hand sanitizers, using hand gloves, using a face mask.
Places noted as centers of commercial activities, including markets, were devoid of people, even as some notable places became shadows of themselves. The Chief Press Secretary, State Governor Kunle Shomori, and other security chiefs who monitored the lockdown commended the people for their doggedness.
We have to appreciate our people for at least heeding the call to stay at home, and for their understanding that this is not a punishment from government, but rather as a measure to ensure public safety. Most of our people are compliant. The streets are deserted. Yes, like in most human activity, there are a few deviants here and there who still go about, even without having things to do, without covering their noses. And that is being looked into. I'm sure the task force will spring into action and make sanctions.
Well, I want to tell you that people actually complied and they stayed at home. They obeyed the order. And all the security agencies too are working to ensure that people obey the directive of the federal government and the state government. So the level of compliance is very, very high and satisfactory.
However, pockets of people in one or two were seen moving around. All things being equal, the people will heave a sigh of relief on Monday next week when the lockdown would be relaxed between the hours of 7 and 10 in the morning for them to restock their houses with foodstuffs.
Ogun State Police Command has appealed to men and officers of various vigilante groups and other local security officers to desist from the habit of firing gunshots into the air at night, with the aim of scaring hoodlums away from their areas. In a statement by the Police Public Relations Officer in the state, DSP Abimbola Oyeyemi, the action had caused panic in the minds of people in such areas rather than scaring hoodlums away. He noted that as much as the command appreciates the collaboration of other security agencies in the fight against crime, such efforts should be devoid of acts capable of causing more harm than good. Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Police in Ogun State, CP Kenneth Abrimson, appealed to all vigilante groups and other local security men to desist from the act. He cautioned residents against unnecessary panic, adding that the police are doing everything possible to protect lives and property of the people. And now from the arena, we bring you a sports update with Olumide Egla.
Federation of Nigeria, AFN, due to hold next week Friday, has been postponed indefinitely. The postponement is due to the global outbreak of COVID-19. The president of the Federation, Olamide George, who confirmed the postponement, appreciated the athletes who have been training on their own.
I also salute the effort of some individuals and those in Nigeria who are training presently, making use of the center, in Futa, center in those states.
In another development, stakeholders of the Badminton Federation of Nigeria have continued to express happiness over the upgrade of Mimi Uluyi to Badminton Confederation of Africa, BCA certificated umpire, the first in Nigeria since the year 2000. They described the development as the beginning of good things to come, despite the outbreak of coronavirus.
Our vision is that in the nearest future, we have more Nigerian umpires certificated by the Badminton Confederation of Africa and possibly go up to the Badminton Federation certification.
And I hope this good news will bring more opportunities for everyone and every umpire in the federation.
And on a sad note, the Handball Federation of Nigeria has expressed shock over the death of a board member, Abubakar Mohammed, describing the deceased as a vibrant Nigeria.
I am so cold right now and I don't know what to say honestly, because this is the second person in our board that we are losing in 2 years. It is really terrible.
We personally approached the Kaduna State government to ensure that we are able to host that National Division 1 that was held in Kaduna last year.
His death has actually left a vacuum, not only in Kaduna State, but in Nigeria as a whole.
Abubakar Mohammed, who died on Friday in Kaduna after a brief illness, has since been buried according to Islamic rites. With sports update, Olumide Abeokuta, Nta News.
And that wraps up Channel 12 News tonight. Thanks for watching.
Olórí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ tí a yàn sípò òṣèlú nínú ìgbìmọ̀ ìṣàkóso aláṣẹ Muhammadu Buhari kí ayé pé ó dìgbà ó ṣe látàrí àwọn kòkòrò àìfojúrí COVID-19 tí ó ti sì ṣe ìsìnkú rẹ̀ ní ìlú Àbújá. Lórí òfin ìséde, ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn ṣe kìlọ̀kìlọ̀ fún àwọn olubi ẹ̀dá láti fi ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn sílẹ̀ gba ọkọ̀ bòmíì lọ. Ẹ kú dédé àsìkò yìí, ìròyìn ló dé sí tí ìgbọ́ ayé láti lè ṣàánú ìnáwó ìjọba àpapọ̀ Nta Abeokuta Mohammed Adébọ̀wálé ní oníròyìn ìròyìn rẹ̀ lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́. Wọ́n ti ṣe ẹ̀yẹ ìkẹyìn àti ètò ìsìnkú fún olóògbé Abba Kyari tó jẹ́ olórí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ tí a yàn sípò nínú ìgbìmọ̀ ìṣàkóso aláṣẹ Muhammadu Buhari ní ìtẹ́ tó wà ní agbègbè Gúdù ní ìlú Àbújá tí í ṣe olú ilẹ̀ wa. Nínú àtẹ̀jáde kan tí iléeṣẹ́ aláṣẹ fi síta ni wọ́n ti fi ìdí ẹ̀ múlẹ̀ pé ayẹyẹ tàbí ètò kankan kò ní wáyé lẹ́yìn ètò ìsìnkú tí wọ́n ti ṣe fún olóògbé náà láti fi bu ọlá fún ẹni náà àti pàápàá gbèrò fún àlàáfíà láàrin ọ̀pọ̀ èrò láti dènà ìtànkálẹ̀ àrùn COVID-19. Aláṣẹ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà tẹ́lẹ̀ rí olóyè Olúṣẹ́gun Ọbásanjọ́ ti bá aláṣẹ Muhammadu Buhari kẹ́dùn ikú ẹni tó jẹ́ olórí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ tí a yàn sípò òṣèlú olóògbé Abba Kyari. Aláṣẹ tẹ́lẹ̀ rí náà nínú àtẹ̀jáde kan tó fi síta fún àwọn oníròyìn sọ wípé òun gbọ́ ìkéde ikú olóògbé Kyari pẹ̀lú ẹ̀dùn ọkàn. Ó ṣàpèjúwe ikú rẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí àdánù ńlá sí aláṣẹ Muhammadu Buhari, àwọn mọ̀lẹ́bí, ará òun ọ̀rẹ́, pàápàá jùlọ sí àwọn ènìyàn orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Ó rọ aláṣẹ Buhari láti má ṣe ba ọkàn jẹ́, ó sì kíkọ́ àtẹ̀mọ́ra pé olóògbé òun ṣiṣẹ́ takuntakun láti sin orílẹ̀-èdè rẹ̀ dójú àmì. Olóyè Ọbásanjọ́ tún fi ìdí ẹ̀ múlẹ̀ wípé ìpapòdà Abba Kyari láti ọwọ́ kòkòrò àìfojúrí COVID-19 yẹ kí ó jẹ́ ìrántí fún ìjọba àti àwọn ènìyàn orílẹ̀-èdè wípé ó pọn dandan kí gbogbo ènìyàn fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ dojú ìjà kọ láti mú orílẹ̀-èdè yìí padà sí ìpele ètò ìlera tó pé àti ètò ọrọ̀ ajé tí ó rọ̀jú. Ó sì gbà á ládùúrà kí Ọlọ́run ọba dẹlẹ̀ fún olóògbé kí ó sì fún ẹbí àti ara rẹ̀ ní ọkàn akin láti gba ìpapòdà rẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí àṣẹ Ọlọ́run ọba. Bákan náà, gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún ti fi ìbànújẹ́ hàn lórí ìpapòdà ẹni tó jẹ́ olórí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ tí a yàn sípò òṣèlú nínú ìgbìmọ̀ ìṣàkóso aláṣẹ Muhammadu Buhari, ìyẹn olóògbé Manam Abba Kyari tí ó kí ayé pé ó dìgbà ṣe ní ọjọ́ Ẹtì àná. Ó ṣe àpèjúwe ìpapòdà ẹni náà gẹ́gẹ́ bí àdánù ńlá fún orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Nínú àtẹ̀jáde kan tí gómìnà buọwọ́ lù ni ó ti ṣe àpèjúwe olóògbé Abba Kyari gẹ́gẹ́ bí aṣíwájú rere àti onígbàgbọ́ òdodo tó fi ẹ̀mí rẹ̀ jì fún ìlọsíwájú ìdàgbàsókè orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Bákan náà ni ó jẹ́ nǹkan tí kì í fi igbá kan bùkún nínú nígbà ayé rẹ̀ tó sì máa ń léwájú téńté nínú akitiyan láti mú ìdàgbàsókè ọ̀tun àti àyípadà rere gbogbo orílẹ̀-èdè yìí. Gómìnà wa bá aláṣẹ Buhari, àwọn mọ̀lẹ́bí, ará àti ọ̀rẹ́ olóògbé kó ara fẹ́ra kù ẹni wọn. Ó gbà á ládùúrà kí Ọlọ́run tẹ̀ sí afẹ́fẹ́ rere kí ó sì fún àwọn mọ̀lẹ́bí ní ẹ̀mí láti gbà á tẹ̀mọ́ra. Ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn ti ṣe kìlọ̀kìlọ̀ fún àwọn olubi ẹ̀dá tí wọ́n ń gbìyànjú láti ṣe àmúlò àkókò òfin ìséde tí ìjọba pàṣẹ rẹ̀ láti máa fi da àlàáfíà àwọn ènìyàn ìpínlẹ̀ yìí láàmú láti ṣe yàgò fún irúfẹ́ ìwà bẹ́ẹ̀ nítorí wípé òfin kò ní fi ọwọ́ yẹpẹrẹ mú ẹnikẹ́ni tí ọwọ́ bá gbà wípé ó ń digun jàdú. Gómìnà ọmọọba Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún ló sọ̀rọ̀ ìkìlọ̀ yìí lásìkò tí ó ní ìfọ̀rọ̀wérọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn akọ̀ròyìn lórí ìpinnu ìjọba àpapọ̀ láti ṣe àfikún ọjọ́ ìséde láti dènà ìtànkálẹ̀ àwọn kòkòrò àìfojúrí ìyẹn COVID-19. Akọ̀ròyìn wa Lukman Adífẹ̀sọ wà níbi tí ìfọ̀rọ̀wérọ̀ náà ti wáyé, ìbọn tó ń bọ̀ síwájú sí i.
Nígbà tí ìpele kejì òfin ìséde tí ìjọba àpapọ̀ fìdí ẹ̀ múlẹ̀ ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn ní ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn náà ti kéde wípé àwọn yóò máa ṣí àǹfààní oníwákàtí bíi mélòó kan sílẹ̀ fún àwọn ènìyàn láti máa lọ ra ohun kan àbí òmíràn nínú ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì tí ìséde náà yóò fi wáyé. Nínú ọ̀rọ̀ gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn ọmọọba Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún ni ó ti bu ẹnu àtẹ́ lu ìwà ọ̀daràn tí ó fojoojúmọ́ gbèrú sí lásìkò tí orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ń kojú ìpèníjà àrùn COVID-19, ṣùgbọ́n ó ní òun ní ìgbàgbọ́ nínú ìkójú òṣùwọ̀n àwọn oníléeṣẹ́ elétò ààbò láti rí i pé ẹnikẹ́ni tí ọwọ́ ṣìkún òfin bá bà tó dúnkòkò mọ́ ẹ̀mí àti dúkìá àwọn ènìyàn ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn ni yóò fi ojú balẹ̀ ẹjọ́ tí yóò sì jẹ ìjìyà tó nípọn lábẹ́ òfin. bákan náà ni ó tẹ gbọ́dọ̀ mọ ìdí tí ó fi yẹ kí àwọn ènìyàn máa lo ìbòjú àti ìbòmú lóòrèkóòrè kí wọ́n sì máa tẹ̀lé gbogbo òfin ìmọ́tótó pàápàá jùlọ fífọ ọwọ́ wọn lóòrèkóòrè àti fífi àlàfo sílẹ̀ láàrin ọ̀pọ̀ èèyàn.
Bí ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn ṣe darapọ̀ mọ́ àwọn ìpínlẹ̀ yòókù ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìpele kejì òfin ìséde ọlọ́jọ́ 14 tíjọba àpapọ̀ kéde rẹ̀ ní ọ̀sẹ̀ tó kọjá ní akọ̀ròyìn wa Akeem Jimoh jáde lọ káàkiri ìlú Abẹ́òkúta tí í ṣe olú ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn láti lọ wo bí àwọn ènìyàn ṣe tẹ̀lé òfin náà tó ẹgbẹ́ àkójọpọ̀ ohun tó ń bọ̀ síwájú sí i. Láti agbègbè àgọ́bà lọ dé ọjà láfẹnwá síbírì akínringbadé pàǹṣẹ́kẹ́ òkè ìléwó ṣàpọ́n títí dé ìjàyè ìyànà mọ́ṣúárì àti ìdẹ́bà. Bákan náà ni ọmọ ṣìṣorí ní gbogbo àwọn agbègbè wọ̀nyí yàtọ̀ sí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ dọ́dọ́gbọ̀n tí òfin gbà láyè láti máa lọ káàkiri ojú òpópónà gbogbo ni kò sí èèyàn àbí ọlọ́kọ̀ kan tí ó ń lọ. Ohun tó sì ṣe okùnfà eléyìí ni bíbẹ̀rẹ̀ ìpele kejì òfin ìséde tí ìjọba àpapọ̀ fi síta ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn.
Tábánikà wọ́n dúró sílé yàtọ̀ sí wípé tó bá jẹ́ pé nǹkan kan ó pọn dandan fún wọn láti bọ́ta bíi tó bá nílò láti ra oògùn bóyá ara ọmọ wọn ìyá ọkọ wọn nílò nǹkan kan láti lọ rà ní ilé ibi tó ti ń ta oògùn.
Gbogbo àwọn ojú òpópónà agbègbè ni àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ iléeṣẹ́ elétò ààbò bí àwọn òkúta ìdènà sí láti dènà lílọ bíbọ̀ láàrin àwọn ènìyàn yàtọ̀ sí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ dọ́dọ́gbọ̀n jákèjádò ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn. Bó ṣe jẹ́ pé àwọn agbègbè wọ̀nyí jẹ́ agbègbè tí ó máa ń ṣe kòkárí àti agbátẹrù fún ìdàgbàsókè ohun ètò ọrọ̀ ajé ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn, síbẹ̀ òfin ìséde náà sì múlẹ̀ dáadáa. Ẹni tí ó jẹ́ akọ̀wé ètò ìròyìn fún ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn ìyẹn ọ̀gbẹ́ni Kúnlé Ṣómórìn àti àwọn adarí iléeṣẹ́ elétò ààbò gbogbo tí wọ́n lọ wo bí ètò náà ṣe lọ ní ìlú Abẹ́òkúta gbóríyìn fún àwọn ènìyàn agbègbè ìlú Abẹ́òkúta fún bí wọ́n ṣe jẹ́ ọmọlúàbí tí wọ́n sì tẹ̀lé gbogbo òfin ìjọba.
Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn wá dúró nulẹ̀ nítorí wọ́n mọ rírì nǹkan tí ìjọba ṣe ní pé ká dúró nulẹ̀. Màdé tún gbà wá níyànjú pé ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì tán tún ní pé ká fi dúró nulẹ̀ kò ń ṣe pé ìjọba fìyà jẹ ẹnikẹ́ni
àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Ṣùgbọ́n eléyìí tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí health security ni fún ààbò ara wa, fún ẹ̀mí wa kó lè pẹ́, kí nǹkan kó má ṣe wá, kí ara wa kó lè máa le ní gbogbo ìgbà.
Ẹ̀wẹ̀, a kò ṣàìrí àwọn ènìyàn lọ́kàn àbí méjì tí wọ́n rìn káàkiri tí ohun gbogbo bá lọ bí ó ṣe yẹ kí ó lọ tí yóò bá fi di ọjọ́ ajé ọ̀sẹ̀ tí ó ń bọ̀. Àwọn ènìyàn yóò ní ìtura díẹ̀ láàrin aago 7 òwúrọ̀ sí aago 10 òwúrọ̀ kí wọ́n lọ ra àwọn ohun kan àbí òmíràn tí wọ́n bá nílò láti tún bẹ̀rẹ̀ òfin ìséde padà. Iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá ẹ̀ka ti ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn ti rọ àwọn ẹgbẹ́ elétò ààbò àdúgbò lábẹ́lé jákèjádò ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn láti ṣe àgò fún ìwà mímáa yìnbọn sókè ní gbogbo ìgbà pẹ̀lú èròǹgbà láti dẹ́rùbà àwọn olubi ẹ̀dá ní agbègbè wọn. Wọ́n ní eléyìí kò fi bẹ́ẹ̀ dára tó. Nínú àtẹ̀jíṣẹ́ kan tí ẹni tó jẹ́ alukoro iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn ìyẹn DSP Abímbọ́lá Oyèyẹmí fi síta ní irúfẹ́ ìwà báyìí máa ń dájú ìgbìbọ àwọn ènìyàn láàrin àdúgbò dípò kí ó máa lé àwọn kòlòrò sí ẹ̀dá lọ. Ó ní ẹ̀ka iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn kò ṣàdúpẹ́ gidigidi lọ́wọ́ àwọn ẹ̀ṣọ́ elétò ààbò àdúgbò gbogbo nínú ìlàkàkà láti borí ìwà ọ̀daràn, ṣùgbọ́n ó tó kí wọ́n ṣe é lọ́nà tí kò ní fa ìjàmbá wá. Bákan náà ni wọ́n fi ìdí ẹ̀ múlẹ̀ pé ọ̀gá àgbà pátá fún àwọn ọlọ́pàá ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí ìyẹn Kenneth Ebuzi ti pàṣẹ fún àwọn ẹ̀ṣọ́ rẹ̀ láti ṣe ìpèsè ètò ààbò tó péye fún ẹ̀mí àti dúkìá àwọn ènìyàn àti pé ẹnikẹ́ni tí ajé ìwà ìbàjẹ́ bá fi símọ́ lórí yóò fẹnu fẹ́ra bí abẹ́bẹ́. tó àkójọpọ̀ ìlú wa fún ti àṣálẹ̀ òní jù báyìí lọ ẹ pàdé wa ní àṣálẹ̀ ọ̀la fún àkójọpọ̀ ìlú lọ́tún ó dìgbà òmìnira lọ́sùn.
to your favorite entertainment program.